All right, and now I will talk about the trial of the Chicago Seven. Right, just before I start, right, I did not watch the trailer for this when it came out. I was afraid that it was spoiled too much, and actually, after watching this movie, I checked out the trailer and like, yeah, it spoils quite well, not a lot, but it just kind of gives you the full gist of the show. So for me, going in kind of new to this, kind of learning things as they play out, it was a better experience for me. But I just felt like I just imagine if I went in with the trailer in my head, I would have had expectations, a little too high, right?
Right.
So this essentially is a legal drama, right? We haven't seen those, or at least in my case, I haven't seen those in a long while, right? And the thing is, like, it's funny that I have to bring up these shows, right? Because like in the '90s, legal dramas were big, right? We had A Few Good
Yeah.
Men. You can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? We had the clan, well, the clan kind of. We had the well, what other shows were there? Well, shows basically based on the law and legal stuff, right? So you had like Pelican Brief, the Firm with Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? So stuff like that were big. You know what I mean? And there was a point in time when films like that were big. You know what I mean? Like classic films now. Like 12 Angry
Yeah.
Men, which
Right.
was about the jurors and not so much the actual case itself. Judgment at Nuremberg. You know what I mean? It's so much I could call it, right? But yeah, like I say, stuff like this, legal dramas, you don't really see those, especially on the big screen, right? Which is funny because now we see it on small screen, right?
Right.
But yeah, this is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. This is actually his second feature film. The last one was Molly's Game, which I still haven't seen. Heard things about it, but I just never got around to watch it, right? And it's based on real events, of course. So it follows the Chicago Seven. These were seven defendants. They were essentially anti-Vietnam War protesters, right? And how the
Right.
film opens is that you just see all the characters more or less getting ready to go into Chicago, basically to protest. You know what I mean? What's going
Right.
on with a bunch of Americans being drafted and sent into the Vietnam War to essentially die, right? So just gonna run through all seven main characters, right? So we have Tom Hayden, who is played by Eddie Redmayne. So once again, it's like he just wants to get that another Oscar nom. I'll talk about the
Right.
Oscars just now. We have Rennie Davis, who is played by Alex Sharp. We
Right.
have Abby Hoffman, who is played by Sasha Baron Cohen. Man
Right.
get hair down perfectly because Jewish, right? We have Jerry Rubin, who is played by Jeremy Strong. We have David Dellinger, who is played by John Carroll Lynch. We have
Right.
John Froines, who is played by Daniel Flaherty. No, yeah, Flaherty. If I got the name wrong, please forgive me. And let me just pull up the last Lee, and Lee Weiner, who is played by Noah Robbins. Now the thing is, those last two characters and like they're there in the film, but the show itself doesn't really zero in on them so much. It's mainly the first five, and we also have another character who's involved in this, Bobby Seale, who is played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so yeah, once again, you know what I mean, just off of that much deserved Emmy win, you know what I mean, for Watchmen, yeah, he comes through here again. And Bobby Seale actually was a political activist actually. So he is, co-founder of the Black Panther Party.
Right.
And what happens is that, well, he went basically to protests as well. But he has nothing to do with the other characters, right? He just went and they had him on a charge, you know what I mean, for murdering someone. So he's just there now. But the thing is that for some reason, I forgot what it was in the film. The lawyer wasn't there to represent him. Like something came up or something was wrong. I think like the lawyer was sick or hospitalized or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he was just basically there undefended, right? But he was there along with the other six, with the other seven men, basically, right? So what it's about, right? So it follows these characters. Well, it actually starts off with these characters about to go to demonstrate, right? And then it cuts to, well, the actual courtroom trial itself, because what happened is that there was some riots that took place, right? This was the Democratic National Convention that took place in 1968, and basically these seven guys were blamed for it. So
Yeah.
so the judge in this case is Julius Hoffman, who is played excellently by Frank Langella.
Okay. Right.
And yeah, he's in this too. He's in this, right? And what the show really does, right? So it's mainly centered on this case, right? Oh, and forgot to mention one last person. The the key to all of this working actually. Um, William Kunstler, right? Who is played
Right.
by, well, Oscar winner Mark Rylance.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
didn't know
he in this
one.
too. Like that's it. It's heavy hitters in this, right? And I knew going in, even though I didn't watch the trailer for that, I knew it was heavy hitters. When I saw characters pop up, like what you know what I mean? I was like, wow, you in this too. Even went so far as bringing in Michael Keaton into this. He
Right.
plays Ramsey Clark, right? He was a former government official, and he's kind of brought in as a witness as well too. Um, Much to the risk of losing his profession basically, right? So yeah, the entire film pretty much centers on this case, right? But what it also shows, and it's brilliant how it reflects what's going on right now. It's the idea of, well, just sitting down and letting things play out, or coming out to fight. You know what I mean? With the at the risk of well, not just losing your life, but being in prison or even worse, incarcerated, right? So yeah, we have these 7 individuals here, including Bobby Seale, who knows about what's going on, right? Who kind of aware of how the government is, just kind of just sending these guys into a war that basically they're doomed to, to they kind of destined to fail at, right? Or to lose in basically, right?
Right.
But they are just men, you know what I mean? They just want to speak their minds. They're not looking for anything, they're not looking for any trouble. But things happen, right? As the show shows, right? Things kind of happen, things are, misinterpreted, people things kind of go out of proportion, and yeah, bad things happen afterwards, right? So, it's easy for the once again, sorry to cut there, but heavy hitters once again.
Right.
Yeah, one of the lawyers actually who's in this film as well. I'm not sure if he's a real life person, right? He's Richard Schultz. Sorry, he's played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll tell it. That'll tell it. It's just a lot of people, right? But yeah. So in a nutshell, it is about that case, so but it's about the conflicting views of, well, not just the Vietnam War, but what it means to be an American, right? We just thinking it's okay, what I mean, for these folks, these soldiers basically in Vietnam to die, and the second you want to speak out about it now, you have this fear that somebody's gonna try to kill you, or
Right.
or I should say, if you want to bring about any sense of change, right? Because I want to bring in the Black Panthers into this as well. Because
Right.
another side character in this just so happens to be, the late Fred Hampton.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, who I believe is supposed to be getting his own film. That will be
Yeah.
oh gosh, yeah,
Very
with
excited for
Daniel
this.
Kaluuya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Excited for this.
really
Yeah.
excited for that film. So yeah, he Judas the Black Messiah, by the way. So yeah, he he's a side character in the show. He's basically there to help Bobby, right? And he even, well, slight spoiler, they do bring in Fred's assassination, and you see how that affects Bobby, and it really kind of brings the film to like a dark moment. That's all I'll
Right.
say without spoiling it, involving Bobby though. And like when you see it, it's almost, yeah, like it's shocking, yes, but it's even more shocking when you realize, yeah, that shit did happen. Like it did happen, what I mean, in that courtroom. That event did happen. So just jumping into the review one time, right? So just talking about the actors, because I call actors names, just now there, right? Um Everybody killed it in this. Everybody. And
Nice.
I'll make the
Right.
argument that even if a character has like a small little appearance, like like Kelvin Harrison Jr., who plays Fred Hampton, even like his little moments work, you know what I mean? Bobby Seale, who, well, sorry, I should say Yaya's character, who
Right.
isn't in the show as much, Greg, because not exactly about him, but he is part of it in a sense, right? The moments that he's there, he shines as well. You know what I mean? So from the big names like Joseph Gordon-Levitt to Frank Langella, who nails it though as a judge,
Right.
Michael Keaton with his appearance, Redmayne, who you mean I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I thought that he was great here, even right down to his American accent work.
Yeah.
Um, who else? By Michael Keaton, his appearance was great. Mark Rylance, though, this is another. you know, Oscar-worthy performance from him. I will not lie.
Right.
And I still will let slide that he win over Sylvester Stallone. You know what I mean? Because Stallone should have won
Right.
for Creed. Just
Right.
saying, should have won
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actor. But he didn't. They give it to Homie because he was in Bridge of Spies. But all right, cool,
Yeah.
whoever. But yeah, even John Doman, who we last saw in The Boys, right?
Yeah.
You know him from New Wire and all those stuff, right? Yeah, he was great as well. Yeah, everybody killed it in this, right? Sacha Baron Cohen, who plays Abby Hoffman, he should get an Oscar nom for this for sure, but he killed it though. He was perfectly cast in my opinion because, well, Abby Hoffman, wasn't just a author as well. He wasn't just an activist, but he was also a stand-up comedian. I didn't even know that until watching this show here. So there's few moments actually where you do see him do like these politically charged stand-up performances, right? I know, well, Sasha being in the world of comedy, you know what I mean, it works, right? And like why I say that he should be nominated is because well, we know him as the comedian, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Borat or Bruno
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Ali G and whatnot. But yeah, you know what I mean? He has done dramatic roles in the past, right? And I think that people should really recognize him for that stuff too. So I think this is the moment. Like this is where people gonna look at him like, yeah, this dude, right? Like this dude, just keep an eye on him, right? So yeah, I
Yeah.
have a feeling that he could get an Oscar nom for this if he wins. Well, great, but I don't know, right? What's interesting about this show here is that well, this was supposed to be made actually like a few years ago, right? So I believe it wrapped filming up last year, if I'm not mistaken, right? But
Right. Right.
yeah, this was supposed to be out for like the longest while. Even the script itself was written back in like 2007. Yeah, well, Aaron Sorkin actually wrote it way back when, right?
Yeah.
And they were trying to get like a good director to helm it. I believe that they got Steven Spielberg at a point in time, but it just didn't play out. Um, but yeah, you know what I mean? One thing led to the next, but eventually this movie came out, right? But why I'm bringing up all this though is that yes, it does allude to what's going on right now. Oh, sorry, what has happened earlier this year with the Black Lives Matter rallies, right?
Right. Right.
Which is coincidental, right? But it's made even more noticeable with Bobby Seale's character in this, right? Because I didn't know that he was in this, and I didn't know he was integral to the story too. But yeah, you know what I mean. You can watch his character. You can watch what the rioters, or I should say, the protesters were going through, and how they had to face, the police, and what happens afterwards, with tear gas and just violence and just chaos. You know what I mean. You could kind of just compare that to like what happened, earlier with the Black Lives Matter stuff, right, with George Floyd and whatnot. But yeah, it's so for me, it just kind of rang true a little bit more. You know what I mean, with its release, you know what I mean, which I know is coincidental, but still, it couldn't have come out at a much better time in my opinion, right? Um, as far as directing goes, I mean, you're not gonna see some kind of stellar like crane shots or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's serviceable. Like that's not me knocking down Aaron Sorkin. I mean, we know him as a great screenwriter, but
Yeah.
I just have a feeling he just needs to kind of fine tune his directing skills a little bit more. Like
Right. Right. Right.
just do something where we'd be like, oh, okay, I never saw this before. This is cool. Okay, I like this. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have like a signature style as yet. Everything just kind of feels or looks so straightforward, which is fine. But in a film, in an ensemble film, it works too. But it's almost like if you were to just take these great actors out, you just kind of get like a normal looking film. You know what I mean? So it's if I just have one gripe, it's that, right?
Right.
But yeah. The performances were great. I thought that the music worked as well. Daniel Pemberton did the score for this throughout the film. You know what I mean? Some great orchestral work here. Even a powerful song played near the end called Hear My Voice, performed by this artist called Celeste. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. Yeah. I really, really dug it here. It's very dramatic, but it works, right? So last thing before I get to rating, right? Oscar bait. Let's talk about Oscar bait for a bit.
Right.
Cause yeah, I have a feeling when it comes to the Oscars this year, like as much as I want this film to be nominated, it does feel like it is designed in a way to be an easy shoe in for a nomination, right? which is fine, you know what I mean. But well, why I say it's fine is because the intention of the film is there. It's strong. It's a story that needs to be told. It's a story that I've never heard of before. I imagine a lot of people haven't heard about it. You know what I mean? Maybe we were familiar with it, but I this is the first time I'm hearing of this story, right? But because you have this great cast, right? Because you have these characters there, and because it's written so well, right? You know, so every character have to see this particular line, something kind of profound or whatnot. In the back of your mind, you will be thinking, okay, they kind of doing this to get me to be like, oh yeah, nominate this. This should be best picture. So you know, mean you must have that moment where where a character breaks down in the middle of court. You know what I mean? You have that you can't handle the truth moment, right? There are quite a few you can't handle the truth moments in this show, right? But they would, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the Oscar bait stuff, right? There's one scene, right, where literally the music swells, and it's a really powerful moment, mind you. But the music swells, and everyone is like getting is off their seats, clapping and whatnot. And you're there like, okay, so this is going to be that moment where I have to suck up and be like, wow, this is like the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. This must win. But to be fair, it's a great scene, but I just have a feeling that it was done kind of in a way to just warm up to people, be like, okay, this is so powerful and it's moving me. All right, yes, nominate this, nominate please. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but it didn't take me out of the show, but I did feel like if I had just gone a little bit more, if I had gone a little bit longer, it would have been like, all right, you're just like lead it a little too thick on us, right? Like we get it's a powerful moment, okay. I know you want to win them awards, but dog, just dial it back a little bit. I remember a lot of like 90s, filmmaking as well too. Like those big movies with the big actors where it's almost guaranteed they're gonna win some kind of award for something, right? If you know what I'm talking about, right? It
Yeah.
has moments like that, but because the story is so powerful and because it's so well told, and the dialogue works and everything like that, it's one of those moments where I could just kind of let slide. I would really like to hear your thoughts on it. Maybe you might find it's too Oscar baity, but I
Right.
just felt like just the right ingredients were there to tell this story that really should be told, you know what I mean, and should be recognized now at a time
Right.
like this, right? So, with all that being said, I really really enjoyed this movie. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. That and just mainly because I just went in not knowing much about the story, so I just had to kind of see things play out a bit. Oh, this is how it played out. This is what happened, right?
Right.
So I can't say if I would have enjoyed it more if I went in with knowledge of it, because they of course they probably just dramatized certain moments. You know what I mean? Probably made a couple of characters. Like I still think that Joseph Gordon-Levitt character isn't real. I'm not sure, but still it works for what they're going for. Um, but yeah, I mean the acting is excellent. Directing is serviceable yet, but the writing is strong, and just the message and its themes though are just so incredibly resonant though. So yeah, I mean you may find it to be Oscar baity, but I see this as a strong Oscar contender.
Right.
Maybe not for Best Picture, who knows, but at least a Best Supporting Actor, Jen. And you have so many to choose from. But my pick right now is Sacha Baron Cohen, Dread. I thought that he was fantastic, Dread, as Abby Hoffman, right?
Yeah.
So who knows? So come next year, we'll see if this movie gets a nom, right? And last thing I want to say before I get to rating, this was supposed to be a Paramount Pictures release. Well, actually, they are still attached to this film, or Paramount and DreamWorks, right? But it's Netflix, logo that shows up first. So, who knows? This could be another Oscar nom in terms of Netflix, right? I mean, we didn't think it was possible, and then Roma happened, right? And well, here we are. So, rating wise, I'm gonna give this a decent, a strong 4 to 5. Man, this is an absolute must see. This could show up on my best of 2020 list. If not, it may be an honorable mention. But I do do highly recommend it to check it out. Even if you're not a fan of like legal dramas and maybe you just want everything to play out realistic and whatnot, right? The acting really holds things together. The story, like I say, holds everything together, and of course dialogue, because I mean it's Aaron Sorkin, and the man could just do wonders with the script, right? But yeah, this is one that a lot of people are going to come back to as far as best of the year goes. And yeah, and it's on Netflix. They have no excuse. So yeah, strongly recommend you check out Trial of the Chicago 7. You will be hearing this for the next few months, man, until Oscar season.
Okay, cool.